we will discuss about visualization of basic graph using Python. I have included 3 libraries for this: NetworkX, NumPy and Matplotlib. So first we will create a graph. To create a graph, we will use the command g equals to nx.graph. So I have created a graph. Now we will add some nodes and edges to the graph. To add a node in a graph, we will use the command g.addNode. So node 1 is added to the graph. Similarly, we can add other nodes in a graph. Node 2, node 3, node 4 and node 5. Now if we want to display total number of nodes in a graph, we will use a command g.nodes. So it shows the total number of nodes in a graph. Now we will add some edges to a graph. To add a edge in a graph, we will use a command g.addEdge 1, 2. So I have created an edge between 1 and 2. Similarly, we will add other edges to a graph between 2 and 3, between 3 and 4, and between 4 and 5. Alright. So now if we want to display total number of edges in a graph, we will use the command g.edges. So it shows total number of edges in a graph. Alright. Now if we want to display the graph, or we want to plot a graph, we will use the command nx.drawG. Alright. So graph G is drawn. If we want to label this graph, we will use a command nx.drawG, with labels equals to 1. So the graph is labeled. Now if we want to change the color of the vertex, we will use a command nx.drawG, with labels equals to 1, node color equals to G. G is for green. Alright. So now all the vertices have a green color. Right. Now let's see if we want to add one more edge. So we use the same command, edge between 5 and 6. Alright. So let's draw the graph. And let's draw G. Right, so the graph is unlabeled. So let me just label it. Alright, so now as you can see, 5 is connected to 6. Alright, so that means we can create a graph without adding any vertices. So let's say h equals to nx.graph. So I have created a graph h. Now I will directly add edges without adding any vertex. So let's say h.addEdge between 1 and 2, edge between 1 and 3, edge between 1 and 4, and edge between 1 and 5. Right. So now we will draw the graph H. So nx.draw H with labels equals to 1. Alright, so graph H is drawn here without adding any vertices. So we can draw a simple graph by using NP function with n vertices and n-1 edges. So let's make a path graph, and b equals to nx dot path graph 7 vertices. Alright, so let's draw graph P and use the command nx dot draw P with labels equals to 1. Right. So it's a graph P of 7 vertices. So now let's create another graph Q equals to nx dot path graph, and instead of 7 we say 9 vertices. Right. So now let's create another graph by using the same syntax. So we'll create a cycle graph. So C equals to nx dot cycle graph, and let's say for 9 vertices. Right. So now let's draw graph C. nx dot draw C with labels equals to 1. So as we can see, it's a cycle graph of 9 vertices. So now let's make one more graph, and let's make another graph which is a complete graph. Of 9 vertices. So let's draw graph K. nx dot draw K with labels equals to 1. So as you can see, it's a complete graph K with 9 vertices.